REKT podcast is now the only time I look at actual crypto stuff for the whole week. Everything else is fucking NFTs.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Me too.
You are...
I'm NFT. Well, that's where everybody is.
Got you in deep.
That's where everybody is.
Yeah, man. Well, what's funny is, like, I feel that way, but I was always wondering if it was because, like, I have now curated my follower list to be like that, but
you go back. I go look at like my, on like my chamber account. It's just like I got a ton of crypto people, but it's just like the same people just fucking complaining about the market,
right?
You know what I mean? And then I just keep adding more NFT people. And it's just like, oh, they're the ones having fun, and
that's what it is. Like that's what I mean. I keep telling you this. It's like it's just so
depressed.
It's just so much fun. Hello and welcome to REKT Podcast. I am Bunchu alongside my esteemed colleague and co-host Chamber. Chamber, how you doing, buddy? You got a little pep in your step today.
I do have a little pep in my step. I've been I set myself a to-do list with different times I got to get shit done by, and I was in the middle of cleaning my basement and vacuuming and really getting a good lather going, and my 12:30 alarm went off, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta stop sweating now before I put my microphone on. So I've cooled down a little bit, had a little sip of water.
We actually have been sitting here just for 20 minutes because he needed to cool down. You should have heard the heavy panting. That is what it sounded like when you came on air. And so we had to take a break. So
remember Fatty McGee from the old Adam Sandler record?
Yep.
That's what it sounds like when I do any sort of physical activity.
That's funny, man. So yeah, we've got a fantastic show coming up. We're going to touch on some crypto news. We're going to talk about the market as always. But first, we have some housekeeping things that we need to go through from the last couple weeks here. Everyone's dying to know how your 4th of July was. Everybody. and not just because like, oh, what'd you eat? How was your fireworks? It's because of Kevin.
So
let's just get right to it. Tell us about your 4th of July weekend, or as up in your neck of the woods, Canada Day.
Canada Day was great. It was the first party we've had, since last summer. Basically, we haven't.
So it was a banger.
It was a banger. We got about $2,000 worth of fireworks.
That's your thing, is the fireworks. If people have not been listening to us since last Canada Day, I discovered that Chamber was a firework freak. Like, he puts all.
And when I say $2,000 worth of fireworks, I mean $2,000 at cost. We get them. We go to
like wholesale.
Wholesale, yeah. We go to there's a reserve, like a First Nations reserve, close to where my mom lives, and my brother-in-law go over there. He's the expert. I'm just his lieutenant. But we all kind of pitch in a bunch of money, and I get there, and there's just crates upon crates upon crates of fireworks, and we're lighting off a bunch at a time. It probably takes about 45 minutes, and I mean,
wow, you have a full 45-minute show,
and, bro. It could go on for an hour and a half. Like, it's 45 minutes of fast fireworks, like multiple big cakes going off at the same time. Yeah, it's for real. So like even this year was a little bit long. Like we try to keep it about half an hour. But we went a little crazy. My brother-in-law was away for a few months.
Away? What you mean, like? You mean like on vacation?
Yeah, like on a vacation. That was a vacation. We'll leave it at vacation. So I had.
You mean like? Are we talking like court mandated vacation?
Possibly.
Yeah, okay, got it.
So I hadn't seen him for about 9 months, and he's really like my closest family member, and he's just my sister's fiance. So him and I are very, very tight. It was great to see him.
Now this is the other sister.
This is this is the good twin sister. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay.
So I was asking him about Kevin. I'm like, because he had been out for a couple of weeks prior to me seeing him, and I said, what's your read on Kevin? He's like, he seems all right, because we all agree that, like, my sister is kind of the issue of the whole thing. So if he's reasonable, then we're gonna like him more. Yeah, he was a quiet dude, nice enough. He brought a couple of his kids. One was like 15, like a 15-year-old boy, and I want to say like maybe a 10-year-old girl, and they were fine. Like the girl was really, really nice to my kids. We went to the beach, and it was good. So what, I liked them overall. No real negativity towards Kevin. He acted appropriately, and it was good overall. But it was, not too much drama. My sister basically ignored me the whole time. But it was fun. I got drunk and pretended I was tweeting about her. Like,
did you actually?
Yeah, 100%. I'm like, let me just pull up Twitter. I got a live tweet what's happening right now.
Oh no! But I'm sure that went over well.
One of the funniest things, actually, my sister is not known to be like the sharpest tool in the shed, so we make fun of her a lot. Like, we tease her about things. And I met one of my brother-in-law's best friends, who we got along famously, and we were talking about, I don't know if you're familiar with like what's happening in Canada, but they're uncovering a bunch of these residential schools in Canada. And essentially what residential schools were the government and Catholic church funded schools that would take like First Nations people out of their communities and kind of like, whitewash them essentially. And through the last it's pretty sad stuff. So over the last few weeks, they've been finding more and more residential schools with like mass graves in them. So it's been a pretty dark part of. Wow. So there was a real backlash on Canada Day, and like maybe not celebrating it in the same way, or at least that sort of thing. So we were kind of talking about the residential school stuff happening, and my sister's like, "Oh, I went to a residential school." And everybody just like, what the fuck are you talking about? We went to a residential school. And I look at my brother-in-law and I'm like, I'm pretty sure she thinks that a residential school is a school that's close to her residence. So we ragged on her. We ragged on her about residential schools for a good third of the day. But like, just like, oh my goodness. So little things like that are what bugged me about my one sister. But it was a great time. Smoked cigarettes. They were delicious. Had some drinks. Had some. I'm not a big drinker, but do you guys have those twisted teas down your way?
Dude,
bro.
Sam Adams makes twisted tea.
Bro. Oh, what a delight. What a delight.
I've had many a twisted tea in my day. I used to work for Sam Adams. Sam Adams created twisted tea, actually. Oh. It's under a different brand name, but it's
right.
Yeah, and we used to have an annual, what we called, this was when I was in Boston, my buddy would hold the Boston Tea Party, and we would just have, it was all twisted tea.
Boy.
And it was just insane.
Yeah, those were great, so I had a couple of those. I like alcoholic drinks that don't taste like alcohol, so any of the, I like the tonic ones that have like the flavored tonic vodka. Those are quite good. So just crushing cigarettes and ripping back girly drinks, and I had myself a good time.
Sounds great. Well, yeah. I mean, look, I think that's.
How was your party? Like, and also telling. I had a lot of family members asking me, what I was doing with my life. Obviously, I'm unemployed, but
no, you are not unemployed. You are just not. You are just not. A corporate drone.
That's true. I'm not not a corporate drone.
You make money. Unemployed is that you are not implies you are not making money or doing anything productive.
That's a good point. So they were wondering how
I would say you were self-employed.
Yeah, they were wondering how I was funding all of my all of my ventures and whatnot through the weekend. Because I came bearing gifts, and they're like, well, how are you bringing gifts? And, shouldn't you be watching your purse strings, and I explained to them, Amber, my wife, started talking about, horse racing and Filipino sweatshops, and I had to explain to them kind of some of the NFT things that we're into, and none of them understood any of what I was saying except for the horse racing.
Did anybody get it at all? Like, did it
like the horse racing, like the Zed Run stuff? I think some folks understood. Like, they understood like the gaming aspect of it, how you could you own them and then you race them and breed them. Like, that was kind of clicking with a couple of them. But for the most part, I mean, nobody got it. Like, they didn't understand the magnitude of the money. Like, how is it worth?
I feel like the biggest thing is 90% of the people in the world don't really understand the power of the internet.
Right.
Like,
yeah, that's what it is, right?
Dude, that's 100% what it is. The internet to 90% of the people is Google, right?
Right.
Like, they don't get it beyond that.
Right.
And Netflix and what.
Like, I was showing them volumes on certain NFTs, and they're like, what? Like, what? Like, like one CryptoPunk was worth, sold for like $7 million, and they're like, but it's a picture and not even a good picture. You know what I mean? So it's just like, well, it's worth what anybody thinks it's worth. Just like crypto, right? It's kind of like, it's kind of in the same vein as explain crypto. Like, oh, what makes Bitcoin worth something? Well, it's the fact that other people think it's worth something. That is a big part of it. And obviously there's the security aspect and the decentralization of it and all that fun stuff. But at the end of the day, a bunch of people think it's worth something and think it's a smart way to exchange funds. And that's what gives it most of its value.
Yeah. I mean, that's hard for people to wrap their...
Yeah. Oh, no, it was like 95%.
I mean, now, do those same people understand Bitcoin or...
No. Yeah, no, these people aren't... these people didn't understand vaccines for the most part. From the conversations I was overhearing, a lot of these people, don't know what doctors are, apparently. So I wasn't shocked that they didn't understand what Bitcoin and or NFTs were.
That's fantastic. So, I mean, mine was good. It was just whatever, nothing crazy.
How was the food? That's what I want to know. The food on mines are always shit. I'm like, I always think about.
We always have pretty good food.
Yeah,
I mean, you've seen some of my spreads.
Like, I know what happens at the bunch you get together.
We don't mess around at a bunch you get together. Like, my family is mostly the side of the family that we're talking about here is very Italian, so they don't mess around when it comes to the food aspect.
Yeah. Hey Ma, where's the mozzarella?
Yeah, lots of moots, lots of gabagool, a whole platters of gabagool. Like, we got gabagool coming out of our ears.
I love it. Yeah. Love to hear it.
What's new in my life since we last talked? My wife emasculates me every day because my parents bought me a grill for Father's Day,
right?
And she's now the grill master, and she is very vocal about how she likes to grill and I'm not allowed to grill.
Good for her.
So she is taking all of my manhood away. So
wow,
that's how
just keeps it in a jar beside her bed.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it, man. That's fun. I actually got rid of mine. I was tired of
your manhood.
Yeah, all just like a turtle shell down there. No, I got rid of my grill.
Oh, I love it. We've used it literally every other night.
I feel anything I make on the grill, I can make better on the stovetop or in the oven. Like burgers, I can make better burgers on my cast iron grills. Steak, same thing. I mean, there's chicken I can make better by grilling them on the stovetop, finish them off in the oven. I mean, yeah, it's just, I don't know. And you don't have to go outside. It's all going outside, coming back inside. I don't know. It was getting on my nerves, and I didn't feel like grilling all the time. And
I feel you. It's fair. That's a fair assessment. Should we talk a little crypto? We got some more housekeeping stuff to get to, but I can get to that later in the show. But should we talk a little crypto here?
Yeah, I mean, the market is...
this is how we start the show. How are you feeling?
The market, I mean, people were complaining yesterday, and then we had a little bit of a rebound today. I think we got a low of about 32 yesterday on Bitcoin. It popped up. Now we're at about 33.5. But that seems to be where we're fluctuating. I mean, nothing lower than 29. Nothing really lower than 29 in the last little bit. I don't know. It seems like just chop. People were on Twitter. People were calling for 12K yesterday. I feel. I'm not
sure
if
like
that's,
that happens every week.
It's crazy.
I saw somebody yesterday saying 12K and $500 Ethereum.
Yeah, I saw $500 Ethereum.
I mean,
it could go there. I mean, I guess.
Sure, but like, let's wait.
Right. I'm not that worried about it. And honestly, like after seeing, I think the big thing for me now, the big difference, this time around, is after seeing the market do its thing in like 2017, 2018. And go through all the ups and downs we went through in 2019 and 2020, to see it come back and make new all-time highs, like to go through a full cycle, it gives you way more confidence. So like, yeah, whatever. It's like, I hear a lot of, and actually, I'm sure you probably heard it over the weekend as well, was like, oh, I heard Bitcoin tanked. I'm like, I guess, but like, I mean, did it tank? Like, did it go from 10K to 65K and then tank down to 33K? Sure, but it's still 33K versus 10K last time I was here. You know what I mean? Like a year ago, it's still 3.5 times more. So sure, it tanked.
You should have said, yeah, and I don't work.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not that worried about it. You should have
said, yeah, I lost my job at Bitcoin.
So, I mean, I'm not like, let it do, if it goes to 12K, great. I have.
If it goes to 12K, I'm mortgaging my house again.
Right.
Except I feel like this time, if it goes to 12K, if it goes to 12K this time, we might be in some big trouble, I feel like.
No, but I think 12K is just 3K.
Who's going to save us this time? Michael Saylor, too?
Who saved us last time?
Michael Saylor.
We'll get the hero we deserve at the time.
I feel like we need it.
So, I don't know. I have some of my portfolio is in, like, USDC. And, it's maybe a third of it.
Okay.
So, if the time comes, it's there to be bought up. And if it doesn't come, then we'll follow the trend when it's going up. You know what I mean? So I think it's good to have some gunpowder. What do we call it? Cannon powder? Whatever we're calling it. Get some stuff that you can buy the dips with ready, just in case they're there. Because a big dip happens fast. We've seen it in the past. If it does go to 12K, it'll probably happen really, really quick, and it'll probably be 20K the next day. You know what I mean? So get it ready. Have a plan. My plan's not great, but it's a plan nonetheless.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you there. They usually happen swiftly, and by the time you're ready to buy, it's too late.
It's way too late.
Then you feel like it's going to happen again, and it never does.
And like, have it on a good exchange. Like, I have it on an exchange, and it's ready to go. It's not in another wallet that I got to transfer it, and it gets clogged in a transaction because there's a million things happening. And that's
actually a pretty good pro tip, I would say.
Put it on an exchange that doesn't fucking shut down every time there's a huge dip. And by the way, for the record, the only one that counts for is FTX.
I was just going to say that.
Like everything else shuts down. Coinbase, Binance. Like, if you want to play the game when it's the best opportunity, it seems to be on FTX. It may not work next time, but it has worked in the past.
Yeah, I mean, everything's pretty flat for the last week. So Bitcoin's 0.3% down. ETH is up 2%. Binance up almost 10. Cardano up 1.7. XRP down 4. So everything. Doge down 10.5. Sorry, Doge. Uniswap up 20. But like, pretty much flat this week, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
What's SLP up this week?
This isn't the show for that.
It's on my charting. So.
This isn't the show for that, but it's up like 3x this week.
Woo!
Yeah.
It's all right.
It's
Actually, FTT looks great versus Bitcoin. I'm just looking at some of the.
Yeah. So what are your? Let's go to Cole Diamond's alt calendar of the week. What are you? Are you buying anything?
No, honestly, I'm not. I'll tell you what my bags are right now. I have Bitcoin, I have Ethereum, I have FTT, I have Serum, and Radium, and that's all I have. That's not a lot. That's not a lot of bags.
That's pretty low bag for you.
Yeah. So, including Ethereum, 4 alts. And Bitcoin, and then
Ethereum. Wow.
Yeah, not including only 3 alts, and then I have a bunch of.
That's because you're getting more and more part of the NFT community as well.
I am, yeah. So lots of, but then a good chunk
you fought it really hard, and I feel like we're starting to tip the scale with you a little bit here.
Well, I've made more money in NFTs.
I would say probably by a pretty wide margin.
Since March, for sure.
A wide margin you have.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what your alt bags have done, but just knowing what you've done in NFTs since March, like I would say pretty wildly better, right?
And I think we've preached this all along is like be flexible. Don't be a community member to one particular thing, right? If you see a trend is going a particular way, hop on it, like dip your toe in, see what it's about. NFTs were very profitable from even before, like I say March, but like even prior to March, NFTs were pretty popular. But for me, I think, I'm making way more money on NFTs from March until end of June than I did, in alts by far. It's not even close.
Yeah.
So just see where the opportunities are. There's always something happening. You just gotta, keep your ear to the ground and be flexible. Be flexible, I think, is the key. Because there's going to come a time where I'm going to be hard in alts again.
Be water, don't be underwater.
That's correct. Oh, my goodness.
There you go. Put that on a fucking shirt.
Holy shit. Fucking free podcast.
Put that on a shirt. All right, let's get to the news. All right, I'm going first here. We are talking Twitter. We are talking Square. We're talking Jack Dorsey. Jack Dorsey's Square commits to building a Bitcoin hardware wallet. So, you Trezor and Ledger folks, watch out. You might be getting.
I feel like Ledger's on the outs. By the way, I feel like
well, they had that huge security breach, and
right.
I don't think they're ever really come back from that, really. So, so this says here that Jack Dorsey's payment company Square has decided to make a Bitcoin hardware wallet, and it will be focused on multi-sig and will prioritize mobile use. That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Hardware wallet for mobile use.
I'm excited to see it because I feel for too long now it's just been like for the last however many years it's been Trezor or Ledger, and I'm not sold on either. I don't like it. So if Jack can come to the table with something that's a better overall product, because I think there's a lot of room for innovation, specifically in hardware wallets right now. I'll be interested to see what it's all about.
This is interesting here. The wallet will offer multi-sig or multi-signature transactions, which requires 2 or more private keys to sign and send a transaction. Specifically, they said that the multi-sig options will be used to enable quote-unquote assisted self-custody. So that suggests, according to this, that Square may play some role in the key process, which is interesting. So I'd like to see what that turns out to look like.
I would say that most people should not be in charge of their own wallets. I think that's, as much as we want to be.
I would say I should not be.
I should not. Most people should not be in charge of their own keys or their own wallet.
I've made one of those mistakes in the past year.
I've made that mistake myself. So no,
I lost a couple grand now.
I try not to think about the amount of money I've lost in the past. Yeah, so I'm not, not your keys, not your funds, or not your crypto, whatever. That's all fine and dandy, but for real, it is difficult to be the sole custodian.
I've been thinking lately, like, no joke, do I need to take this MetaMask that I have and take it completely offline, pretty much?
Right,
and
right.
Because we now have, a pretty good amount of assets in there one way or another, and we have some shared assets in there. And I'm like, man, if I got this thing hacked, it would be terrible. So,
not ideal.
Yeah, no, not ideal. So, I've been thinking about, hey, maybe I just need to get a new laptop and take this one totally offline.
Yeah.
So, might do that with some of our
yeah. I'm okay with that, by the way. We need to.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. Like, it gets to a point where you're like, man, just this little browser window.
This little fox in my
holds my entire life savings in it,
right?
And that's kind of scary. So, but I have gotten much better about private keys, storing them, keeping them places that backups and all that kind of stuff. So I'm never going to lose the wallet. It's just about the protection of getting it hacked. And we saw, even in our own REKT podcast Telegram chat a couple weeks ago, that somebody had gotten all their it was almost like a script was running in their MetaMask, and anytime they sent a transaction or there was a deposit over a certain amount, it got automatically sent somewhere. And then the droid you seek, shout out to the droid you seek, had to put all his cronies on it and do some web sleuthing. I wonder whatever happened with that.
They did some real sleuthing. I think they found out the guy lived in his
mom's basement. So good. Of course he does.
So that's fantastic. But I mean, I upped my overall security system on my computer. I'm using VPNs. I got the best I paid for the best possible. I mean, I don't know. We need to get somebody on from MetaMask because I need to know the best way to secure everything. Will the best antivirus or the best program look for things within your MetaMask? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. So I've done everything on my end.
All right, go reach out to them because that'd be good.
Yeah, I think, right? I think that's, especially, you keep hearing these things, right? So at least do what you can do to, at least get as much security on your computer as possible. Because about 2 weeks ago, I think after that conversation that Droid had, I just souped everything up to the max. Souped it up to the max. Yeah. It worries me all the time. It worries me all the time. Like the little fox haunts my nightmares.
All right, what else we got?
I have one here from our gal Yagita. She writes here, Crypto.com has struck a deal.
Mine was from Yagita as well.
No doubt. That was a quality article.
One day we're just gonna run into her at a conference.
At a meetup? Oh my god. Could you imagine?
We're gonna fangirl so hard.
She has no idea.
Yeah, right, exactly. And we're gonna fanboy so hard. And she's just gonna be like, excuse me, who are you?
Who are you? Amazing. One day we'll have her on the show too, I feel. So she writes here, Crypto.com has struck a deal with the Ultimate Fighting Championship, the world's leading mixed martial arts organization, becoming its first ever global official fight kit partner. I don't know what a fight kit is, but we're going
to find out.
Yeah, the news means Crypto.com will now have its logo placed on UFC apparel worn by athletes in competition, as well as clothing worn by their cornermen or women.
Formerly Fight Milk.
Fight Milk! Be strong like a crow!
Finally, there's an alcoholic crow-based protein beverage for you.
What up? Anyways, all day we can do this. Apparel manufacturer Venom is also UFC's existing partner, and also has its logo on the fighters' kits. When asked how Crypto.com's partnership is different, UFC spokesperson Chris Belletti told the block that Venom is UFC's official outfitting and apparel partner, meaning Venom designs the fight kits for athletes to wear in competition, as well as the fan apparel available for purchase. Crypto.com, on the other hand, is the official branding partner on the fight kits, but plays no role in the design or manufacturing of them. So crypto in the mainstream is the next headline here. Crypto.com says it will have significant visibility given UFC's global fan base of more than 625 million people and over 150 million social media followers. That's crazy. Crypto.com will also receive the designation of UFC's first ever official cryptocurrency platform partner, creating a new sponsorship category for the UFC. The goal of the deal is to, quote, bring crypto to the mainstream while raising our brand's profile by supporting the world's best athletes, teams, and leagues. Crypto.com CEO Chris Marzelik. Chris Marzelik, that's what we're going to call him. I feel that's pretty close, and that's what he told the block. So big stuff happening for Crypto.com, which seems to be kind of one of the bigger brands in crypto, partnering with UFC. I think it's going to be good overall. A lot of those meatheads who like the UFC will probably like crypto. I feel like there's a lot of meatheads in crypto. What do you think of that?
I mean, yeah.
I feel like a lot of gym dudes are into crypto.
I feel like, and now this is going to be a sweeping generalization.
Yeah, that's what I love.
This is going to be a sweeping generalization, and I'm sorry for anybody who listens to this that's offended. I feel like you're right. I feel like crypto. There's like crypto bros. And
crypto bros for sure.
Yeah, crypto bros, like Chads,
Affliction
like
t-shirts with crypto logos on it.
And then I feel like the NFT community is just a bunch of nerds.
I agree with that.
Total the opposite way, right?
Like Doge, I feel, has a ton of like bros.
Yeah, and so like it's funny. I was talking to my wife about this the other day because
I love sweeping generalizations.
Well, my wife was like, I think she's got like this really skewed view of who I actually am. Like I'm in her eyes, I'm like this cool person. Mm-hmm. And really I'm like, honey, no, I am a fucking nerd. I am such a nerd. It is, I like the things I am into are nerd things. So like, I mean, she's like, well, yeah, that's kind of nerdy. I'm like, yeah, it is, and I love it. And I was like, you don't understand. I actually am a nerd.
You're definitely more of a nerd than a bro. That's for sure.
Yeah, except I feel like my appearance appearance is more broy than
I agree with that.
Nerdy, I would think. I agree. That's what I would say.
Not too broy, but definitely leans broy.
Bro leaning.
Yeah. Bro adjacent.
Yeah, bro adjacent. Anyway, so those are our sweeping generalizations for today. We should maybe we should start doing that as a weekly segment. This week's sweeping generalization brought to you by, that's a sponsored segment, sweeping generalization.
Oh, I gotta watch myself. So many words wanted to come out of my mouth right now.
Last news story here. June's web traffic to crypto exchanges sees the second biggest drop.
Ooh.
Drop. Since
no
January,
bueno.
Since January. So we are talking, what's possible here for the market. Crypto exchanges seeing less and less traffic, the biggest drop since January. So this is data compiled by the block. So this is the block crypto, of course. May had been a record high for web traffic. So
oh, really?
Yeah. So May record high. So maybe everybody's just taking a little break. Maybe they did everything in May, because I'm looking at this chart and it is by far and away it was a record high. And then with a huge surge, so it kind of ramped up in April, but web traffic fell from 638 million in May to 369 million visits in June. A 42% decrease in traffic.
I mean, I think maybe, just speaking for myself, I think maybe people are just in a wait and see pattern. I haven't done a ton of visits to exchange sites. because I'm not trading anything. I'm just waiting and seeing, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're chopped, right? Like, so,
Right.
I mean, anybody trading now is either really good or really degen, right? Like, those are your two options if you're trading much right now, I feel like, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe. Do you think just the summer month has anything to do with it?
Probably, yeah.
Do you think COVID being over in the United States pretty much has anything to do with it?
I think that has a lot to do with it. Just people getting out.
Want to play an extra game of these exchanges visited? What share of all of these did Binance have? What share of web visits did Binance have?
Of all possible exchanges in the world?
In June. Yes.
But like these are worldwide numbers?
Yes, these are world.
14%.
Higher.
Wow, higher. That's pretty good. 23%.
Higher.
Whoa, really?
Your mind's going to be blown.
No way. 44%.
40.7%.
No way.
Goes to Binance. Would you like to?
That's fake volume. That's fake volume.
I don't think so, man. Would you like to see? Or the second is Coinbase. Any guess on what their traffic was?
And Binance was 40 point something.
40.7. Yeah.
Okay. Coinbase. I'm gonna say much less. I'm gonna say 16%.
19.2.
All right, so pretty close.
Yeah, your boys at FTX only 2.3%. If that doesn't make you want to buy more FTT, then I don't know what does. not financial advice, but if that doesn't make you want to buy some FTT, I mean, even increasing that share to 10% is a 5x in their volume, and
right,
I
don't know.
This podcast, Sweeping Generalizations, brought to you by FTX.
Short Binance.
Oh, man.
40% is way too much, though.
That's crazy, right?
That is crazy.
I mean, I'm sure it includes Binance US as well.
And probably, I wonder if it includes like Pancake Swap and all that other bullshit.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I didn't stick around the article long enough.
It's okay. We can make a sweeping generalization of it.
Yeah, right. That's what we do here now.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's going to do it for us for the news. We have one more item that we need to take care of, and it's actually another story that happened to me. This was one of the most coincidental things I've ever experienced in my life. I don't know, a couple weeks ago, anybody who's listened to this show for more than a year knows that Chamber and I are very, very into the Netflix television show, I Think You Should Leave. And that is the Tim Robinson sketch show that we've been quoting on this show for now probably 2 years. Yeah. And the new season just came out this week. Did you finish it?
Oh, yeah.
I have not yet. I have 2 episodes left.
I've watched some episodes up to 3 times already.
Wow. So I need to.
And for the record, they just get funnier. They get funnier.
Well, that's what happens. Like that first walkthrough, you're like, and then each one gets better and better. And then, so I haven't been able to watch them all yet because of baby schedules killing my TV time. But
that's a shame.
Yeah, so I'm going to finish them tonight. But anyway, so a couple weeks ago, my buddy had texted me, and he texted me a picture of these posters that are hanging. Mm-hmm. It's like an ad for these posters, and the posters are like, I Think You Should Leave fan art.
Like old-timey movie posters or like concert posters?
They're like concert. They're cool. Concert advertisement posters, like
old-timey though, right?
Like old-timey,
like 50s,
yeah, like 50s style, old-timey jazz.
Very cool
with all of these references from the show on them.
And you wouldn't know, you wouldn't know to look at them Like they just look like cool art that you would have on the wall.
And then there's so we'll post a picture of these in a couple days because I have frames coming. But so he posts this in our group chat, our text chat, and he's like, "Yo, check these out." And I was like, "Oh my god, those are so awesome! I need to buy them." And he actually went and bought something else from this website, and it came in. And the artist whose store it was sent him like a hand typed out note with a signature, and it was full of like show references and stuff. And he texted it to me, and he's like, "Oh my god," he's like, the artist sent this note, and it's hilarious. And I was dying. I'm like, man, this is really cool. And last week, it was either last week or the week before, one day this tube shows up at my house, and it says, "To Bunchu Bets," and I'm like, "What?" I'm like, okay. I'm like, what's happening? How did somebody find my address? Like, this is kind of creepy. I'm like, is it anthrax? And out of nowhere, I open this thing, and here there is this note, and it says, "Hi, Bunchu. I'm a listener of REKT Podcast, and when I heard you guys were doing, and I think you should leave Deep Dive, I reached out to Chamber, who thought you'd get a kick out of these. I think you should leave jazz posters, and would be up for some blatant plugging of my art on Etsy." He said, "I hope they're displayed proudly in your home as an early indication to your guests that they won't find any meat and potatoes record collections there. Cheers, RG," aka Swayzine, which is his art studio. So his Twitter is at Garveston, Garveston, Reggie, Reggie, and his Etsy shop. You should go check it out. It's awesome, especially if you're a fan of the show. There's some really cool stuff on there. Etsy.com/shop/Swayzine, SWAYZINE. But so like the craziest part was just this coincidence that the week before I was like, "Oh my god, these are so cool," and then they just show up at my house. And it was really cool.
It was a great conversation I had with him too. So I don't know if it was. I'm not sure if I think he DM'd me. Yeah, he did. Yeah, it was. I wasn't sure if he DM'd the show or not, because what I wanted, and I feel bad because sometimes we get like people that want to send us stuff, and I live in Canada, and I'm like, fuck, I don't want them to pay. Like, it's nice enough that they want to send me stuff, but like sometimes it costs extra to send stuff to Canada. You know what I mean? So he DMs me saying, dig your podcast, would love, check, if you want something from the shop, for a plug kind of thing. I'm like, so I told him, I said, honestly, we'll plug your site, big time. I said, but Bunchu would love a Paul Buffano poster.
Yeah.
So I just said, the Paul Buffano poster, if he had that, like that would make his day. And he writes back, he's like, I'll send him the trio.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, no way. I'm like, that will absolutely make his day. And then I sent him your address.
I freaked out.
I messaged you right after. I'm like, oh my god, I can't. I think I told you.
I completely forgot you even had mentioned something.
I'm gonna get
to
you.
Me.
Like something's coming your way. You're gonna fucking freak out.
And I completely had forgotten that you had said that, and I definitely didn't think it would be this, which was the coolest. It was just so cool. The coincidence literally had me like goosebumps for a while. I'm like, what are the odds of that?
What are the odds? Yeah.
And like the fact that he's a listener of the show was even cooler. Like that was really cool. So shout out to at Garveston Reggie Swayzine. Go check out his Etsy shop, etsy.com/shop/Swayzine, ZINE.
So to pay a little bit of homage to our friend Swayzine here, so far, what has been your favorite sketch in the show so far for season 2?
The season 2?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We should talk about it a little bit.
There's some good ones. Ghost Tour kills me.
I've watched Ghost Tour 3 times.
Ghost Tour just kills me.
It's the ending of Ghost Tour. It's just like, I don't want to ruin everybody's day.
What I love about that one is just like, he's just so... well, I thought you said we could swear.
What am I missing?
And then he says, yeah. And then he just drops these, well, then bleep, bleep, bleep. Oh, my God. It's so funny. What other? Coffin drop. Great
Coffin
one.
drop immediately was like, that was a great one for me. It's where there's a reality TV show of just people at funerals falling out of their coffins, 1/5 of which are naked, and it's some real weird comedy. So for those of you who love to laugh, who like a little bit more of the a little weirder comedy,
it's very weird. So like, just think of it as any Saturday Night Live skit that you've ever watched, but weirder, and then just
like at the end of the episode, they usually
and then if it was just taken out 3 levels deeper, right? Like each time you think a skit should end, it goes deeper and deeper into another layer. The
hot dog one was great.
Hot dog one is great. Oh man,
Dan Flashes was
Dan Flashes. CalicoCutPants.com.
CalicoCutPants.com was one of my favorites.
Speaking of, we have a Patreon, by the way. A lot of people give. A lot of people give.
You gotta give.
Gotta give. You use the site, you gotta give. Listen to our podcast, you gotta give.
You gotta give. A lot of people give. See Jim over there? He gives.
He gives. The premise of this skit, and then we'll get out of here, is that they're in an office and the guy walks out of the bathroom and he's got like 2 little pee dots on his pants. And the guy he's walking with, his coworker, starts to make fun of him. And Tim Robinson's character comes over and he goes, "No, those aren't piss spots. Those are calico cut pants." And he's like, "They actually make them like this. They sell them like this." And he brings up this website, and the website is a fake website that's stood up, and it's
for this particular scenario.
For these particular pants, and for this particular scenario, and it acts like it sells them, and so it gets this guy out of the jam, and then the whole rest of the skit is about how the guy needs donations to keep the site running. And
it's like PBS.
Yeah, it's like PBS. If you don't give, the site goes down, and if the site goes down, you wouldn't be in this. You wouldn't have been helped. So the whole skit is like that, and then at the end, the guy doesn't give, and then he starts kind of like making his life a living hell.
Everybody, like the guy that runs the security.
Yeah, it's kind of like Fight Club. Yeah, right. It's like Fight Club where you find out everybody's in the Fight Club, and that's.
And then he goes into this like weird red room. Like, is he the devil? Like, it's very confusing at the end. I'm like, oh, it's too much. But you do the impression so well, and I was waiting for any line.
I gotta go through them a couple more times.
I can't wait for more of this.
I gotta go through them a couple more times.
Killed me though. You gotta give Killed Me. I'm gonna go be a Patreon just to.
Hey, you use this podcast. You gotta give. A lot of people give.
It's too much.
All right, that's gonna do it for us today. Until next time, you know the deal. Don't get wrecked, and that is financial advice.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening. You can help support us by giving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and become a REKT patron by signing up for a monthly tier on patreon.com. That's patreon.com/REKT podcast. Don't get wrecked.